Hey guys, so for this assignment, we are going to try to draw a picture using only graphs. But to do that, we're going to need a few skills with our graphing calculator, in particular Desmos for now. But these skills will be helpful for future graphing needs, so great to learn them now. One note is that if you're going to draw a graph that you would like to save and use again later, the Desmos app on the iPad is not going to be able to do that. So you're going to need to actually go to Desmos.com and you can sign into your Google account using your Google credentials, and then you can save it and revisit it later. And even on the iPad using a web browser like Safari, it actually works really well. So pretty much just as good as the iPad app. So let's go ahead and launch the calculator. I think I'm already signed in. Oh look, I can sign in using your Google account, and perhaps it'll take, look, I'm in. It's Benji. Awesome. So if you are going to graph a lot of things, I'm actually going to go ahead and get into projector mode just because I like that. If you know that you are going to draw a lot of equations, there's one nice organizational tool that I'm going to show you right now. So for this exercise, I might try to draw someone's face with a hat on, with like a triangular hat. And so what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to create is actually a folder, and I'm going to call it hat. And so now all of these graphs that I draw in this folder hat will just be stored there. So it's nice when you have, 20 graphs on the same set of axes that you know exactly what is what on the graph. So these ones are going to all be the hat. So I'm going to try to make a little triangle right around here. So I don't know, the first one might be the graph y equals 5 plus 1x. Y equals 5 plus 1x. All right, so there's that graph. Now here's the thing. I don't want this entire graph. I mean, listen, if I zoom out, it goes on forever and ever and ever, but I just want a small portion of it because I'm going to try and draw kind of a triangular hat right here or something. And so you know what? I really want this graph only to exist from, let's say, an x value of 2 to an x value of 5. And to make that happen, all we need to do here is put in a set of brackets, and all you need to write is what x values you'd like it to use. So I'm going to say 2 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 5. And check it out. It's the exact same graph, but we've restricted its domain so it's just x values between 2 and 5. Amazing. Let's do this portion of the hat. So now I'm going to do, I might even do this in point slope form. I want this graph to go through the point 5, 10, having a slope of -1. So I might do y minus 10 equals -1x times the quantity of x minus 5. Oops, sorry, -1 times the quantity of x minus 5, excuse me. And so check it out, there's that line we want, but we don't want all of those x values. We don't want it to go on forever and ever and ever. We really want it to exist only for x values between 5 and 8. So just right there at the end, you can toss in a set of brackets and say 5 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 8. Boom. All right, now I want this horizontal line right here for my hat, and that's just the horizontal line y equals 7. Boom. I want this to only exist, though, for x values between 2 and 8. So let's go between 2 and 8. So 2 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 8. And you see how this works. This is great. All right, so there's the hat. And now I'm going to close this folder. Let's see, maybe, I guess that they didn't all go in there, but I think with a little clicking and dragging, perhaps. No? Let's see how this works. So hat, there we go. If you open up the folder and drag things into it, now they're all in hat. And it's cool because if I click that, all of the hat equations appear or disappear. So it's really, really helpful. I'm going to create another folder for the face. And so I'm going to put in a little kind of semicircular thing. I want a parabola, and I want it to be centered right at 5, 5. So I might do y minus 5 equals the quantity of x minus 5. Oops, not that squared. I would like all of that to be squared. All right, phenomenal. But again, you see that we have just too much going on here. Look, we don't want all this. We just want this part. So we got a couple of options. One is, check this out. The Desmos graphic calculator app tells you exactly where these things intersect. They intersect at the points, where the x values, rather, 3.586 and 6.414. So if we want, we can restrict our x values to just, let's make it, 3. 6.586, I wish this didn't go away, is less than or equal to x. Oh, there we go, is less than or equal to 6.414. Check that out. Check it out. And that restricted our x values to exactly what we want. But there's actually another way we could have done that. I'm going to go ahead and delete this restriction we've got here. You can restrict the x values, as we have been so far, but you can also choose to restrict the y values. And what I say is, you know what's a lot easier than telling this orange graph what x values to appear on? It's much easier to tell it what y values to appear on. I just want y to be between 5 and 7. And in just the same way, we can say, okay, I want y to be, okay, so 5 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 7, and we get the exact same result. And of course, that should be contained within, are we in face? I guess not. I'm trying to put this in the face. There we go. Now it's in the face folder. And so we can continue this process to slowly but surely create a beautiful picture. So that's a really important skill for us to have. Now we know how to restrict either our x values or our y values so that our graphs exist only where we want them to. And just a reminder, you might as well save your changes. So test graph, you can save it, and you will then later, when you sign into Desmos with your Google credentials, you will have test graph right there. So happy graphing.